Welcome to the You Heard podcast, your go-to for Miami Hurricanes football. Ben, Joe, Hope, and CB break down recruiting, hot topics, and game day action.
All right, we'll talk about it at the end.
No, let's talk about this right now because he completely flipped it on me now.
Thank you for knowing this, bro. This man knew the brand, dog.
Okay, I don't appreciate that. I'm saying, like, I don't appreciate.
What are we talking about, son?
Get into it, talk. I felt
Keeping it a buck.
Let me close these curtains real quick.
You heard. I'm gonna let y'all know, man. Let me let y'all know right here what it is, man. Ayo, appreciate y'all, man. You know, sometimes doing these post games, sometimes we not. How y'all doing? How y'all feeling? 53 with us in the chat. My guys are probably still watching Florida LSU. But I had to come on here, man, and chop it up with y'all. We'll be back at our regular scheduled time tomorrow at 6. How we feeling? How we feeling, man? Let's check these stats. Miami wins 49-12. All right. First thoughts. Let's go. I like to start with the negative, get them out the way first. Those commentators were absolute trash, right? Like, even from the jump, the commentator goes, "Hey, that was a pass interference if I've ever seen one," or some ish like that. When on the OJ pass, there was some contact. It was nothing egregious to call it out. It was ridiculous, man. Like, yeah. Shout out to Prod. Shout out to my boy Pac-Man. Shout out to Poser King. Shout out to Josh S. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. Make sure you smash that like button. All right. First negative, with commentators. Second, penalties. Penalties. We ended the game with 9 for 69. I believe 4 or 5 false starts. They only had 2 for 15. Okay. Now, this is why, let me flip this for y'all. We had 9 penalties for 69 yards, and we turned the ball over twice, and we scored 49 points against the number 18 team in the country. This is, if I'm a coach, right, this is a semi-perfect scenario because, yes, you won by 37 against the quote-unquote hottest team in the country, but you have so many lessons that you could teach these young men to not get comfortable, to improve, because every one of those penalties in a bigger game could be a mistake. In a game against a team that has a different kind of defense, has a better offense and things like that, these are all teachable moments. This is, yes, I don't like the penalties. I would have loved to see the replays on some of these penalties. And I don't like some of I think we only got one replay on the false starts, but it was every time on the 3rd and short. If y'all saw the penalties and I didn't, and I missed it on the CW replay, I don't know what's going on there, man. Brian and Brock, shout out to the double B's in the, you know what I'm saying? It was an okay game, not a great, but okay. Lots of improvements still need. Hope it gets figured out. But yo, yes, and we won by 37. This is why this is a positive and a negative thing. Yes, you don't want to make those mistakes, 100%. But you win by 37, and you don't let your players rest and feel good about it because you could teach them, yo, we had 9 penalties, guys. We turned the ball over twice. You could still harp on that so you don't let them rest on their laurels and let them get complacent, right? I'm with you. It was an okay. We won by 37. This was again, like preseason rankings being what they are, but the narratives about this team, there was people who picked USF to beat us, right? Like we kind of shut that down, man. What was it? How many total yards did they have here? 332 total yards. A lot of that was garbage time. Most of half of the fourth quarter, we put in our backups. They hit a couple big plays on us. Didn't turn into anything, right? They had those 2 50-yard plays, 60-yard plays. Didn't turn into anything. Stopped them for field goals. Defense buckled down after a couple mistakes. Got eyes in the backfield, things like that, you know. Benny, some of these penalties are ref poor judgment. I would have, like, in every other game we've watched, I don't know if this is a CW issue. In every other game we've ever watched, y'all can let me know, right? We always get to see where that player made the penalty. Then I can be like, all right, because like for me now as a fan, I could be like, yo, man, like where was the penalty? Like where? Like they only showed one false start on the replay. If there was 4 or 5, I would have loved to have seen that. The illegal hands to the face. Show me the penalty. You have 10 cameras on the field. Like you have every angle covered. Why not run the replay on that? Now, jumping back to my first point, what did you guys think of the commentators on the CW? Even my wife was like, yo, these guys are bullshit. Literally. By the way, the Gators are coming to town next week and they ain't right. They're right in Willis. Yes, they are. We have the Gators next Saturday. Why do I keep saying Sunday? Next Saturday night at Hard Rock. I'm not worried about we'll worry about the Gators tomorrow, like after we do the recap with the rest of the squad. And I'll watch the rest of that fourth quarter. And when I get back off, you know what I'm saying, get back off here. But for right now, strictly Canes, man. We had a 2-hour rain delay, and that offense didn't skip a beat. Right? Like Carson was 23 of 28, 3 touchdowns, 2 INTs. One, he didn't set his feet, kind of drifted on him a little bit, kind of went in no man's land for the pick. And then the second one was a tip drill that bounced the wrong way. Like, and I'm not giving excuses. Those are still 2 picks, I'm sure. And again, Carson had 23 or 28 for how many? 340 yards. And there's still room for improvement. Guys, like, that's the thing. I don't want to be a finished product in September. I want to be building and getting better. Right? Josh Moore, 2 touchdowns. You know what I'm saying? A head top on a guy. Like there's a lot of things to like about this team to continue to improve and get better. Like there's a lot of teachable moments, and that's the thing is like I don't want them to be like perfect now. I want like they won by 37 and we're nitpicking. Right? Yes, there was penalties. Yes, there was issues. Yes, there was turnovers, but we won by 37, and we get ready for the Gators next week, and we gave our starters half a quarter off to get ready and prep for next week. One game at a time. We beat USF, and we'll see what it is. Let's see here. They sucked. They was wrong about almost everything they was talking about. Fam, it was like so one-sided. Like they were like asking for flags. Like, yo, just call the game, dog. Like you're not supposed to sound like me, right? Like I didn't understand what they were doing there. It was weird. Like from the jump too, like there was no hiding it. They started negative, then by the end they were like they're the real deal. The color commentator, which was Will Blackman, I believe, which crazy. I remember him at Boston College. The color commentator didn't get much words in, but the main guy just seemed to be openly rooting against Miami. Like that was just weird. Like asking for flags, asking for penalties, and all these things. And at the end, like it's almost like a pharmaceutical commercial where it tells you all how they really feel, and then at the end it's like, oh, these things can cause this, that, and the other. He wasn't good. I'm not saying that Will Blackman was good. I'm just saying he wasn't openly rooting against. All he said the whole game was like, this is the team I remember. This is the Miami Hurricanes I remember. He didn't bring anything to the broadcast. And and here's the thing, they heard it because the other guy, whoever the other guy was, like made a comment about it during the broadcast. It was like, hey, there's a lot of comments on social media about how we're calling the game. Yeah, because y'all were trash, dog. You can't I can't remember a time that a guy calling the game was like, hey, that should have been a penalty. What? Oh, they usually just say they missed that one. All right. But it wasn't anything egregious on that OJ penalty. And again, we didn't get to see any of the penalties. All right, let's see what else we got here. Bam. All right, those are the negatives for me. Right, penalties, the game cast, how they were calling the game. Mark Fletcher. Mark mother put him on a stretcher, ran his ass off in this game. 121 yards on 16 carries. He only ran the ball 16 times, and he had 121 yards. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. What was their yards per carry? Where is it here? Passing, rushing. Average 5.5 yards per rush. That's like, again, they're not a big time, but again, like, we have to remember how they were being talked about coming into this game, and the narratives are going to change immediately. Oh, it was just USF, like they're just a G5 team, that they should be really happy, like, you know what I'm saying, like emotional support type shit. They should be really happy with how they played. They have a long season to go, yada yada yada. All that heapity hoopla, as they say. My nitpick is, why isn't Elijah Lawson getting balls his way? Just saying, isn't he one of the best players? And the D line needs to start sacking. This was a game, Brandon, that it's weird because he's a running quarterback, right? So like some of the tackles for loss don't really count towards sacks and stuff like that. So yes, they need to get home, but this is not a type of quarterback that is gonna stand in the pocket. Booker Pickett got a straight up sack, but you know what I'm saying, hit him with the little lean, got around him, and did his thing. So yeah, man, Fletcher was just dragging dudes. Fletcher looks like, what was the game year, his freshman year, that he like outright won for us? Fletcher looked like that, man. He looks like a workhorse, and Marty Brown looks like a great complimentary back. Still no Jordan Lyle in 2 weeks, so I don't know what the deal is with that, and I'm not gonna make any stories up or throw out any random questions when I don't know nothing about nothing. So I'm gonna leave that alone. Florida playing LSU tough. I feel, I might pull it up on the other screen here. I feel like this is one of those games where like they have to give everything. I also don't think LSU is that good. Like, they barely beat Clemson, who got kind of dog walked. Yes, they only won by 3, but Georgia Tech controlled that game. You know what I'm saying? They had to do a comeback, and they also barely beat Troy and Clemson. So if you barely beat Troy and LSU beats you, football math is stupid, but like I don't know if anybody in the SEC is that good. Georgia had to come back. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just weird. And I know they'll be like, oh, they're such a hard fought shit, but I don't know. Benny, there's something to be said about a running back getting enough carries to get in his groove. Yeah, and also keeping him fresh though. Like, you don't like. Here's where us as fans, Juan Manuel, and always appreciating the chat, dog. Always salute to you, man. You're here every time. Here's what's weird about it. It's like they ran him enough, but Dawson also called a really good game to, like, you know what I'm saying, called it pretty even. What was this? 30 pass attempts, right? Because Emory got in there, and 38 rushes. We ran the ball more than we passed it. Like, fam. See, a tale as old as time. A tale as old as time. I love it. That's just, keep that going. Keep that streak going. Oh, beautiful. Oh, I'm watching it. I'm reacting this live with y'all because I want to make sure I'm locked in with y'all and not being distracted. Yes, Tennessee choked. Bro, they were up 38-30, right? And I turned it off because I went back to my game. Yeah, it was crazy. See, you think that second interception was being thrown to 17? Yeah, that was going to Tony Johnson. But Mally got up there. Mally leaped, boy. Yeah, that was going to 17. That wasn't going to Mally. 17 looked good, man. Tony Johnson looked good on that little slant, a little mesh route. Yeah, and Tony was like, I'm gonna just walk. He kind of like walked it out like Cam did last year. Yeah, I think that one was going to Kane's thing. I think that one was going to Tony Johnson. Fam, if you watch, I want to give a shout out. There's this YouTuber I just found last week. It's called The Film Guy. He's done some stuff with Paul Feinbaum. He does like breakdowns. He does breakdowns of film and shit, right? Like, he has like a YouTube. Pat Mackey, if you like, but like way more southern. I think he's like from Georgia. Did a great breakdown. He like breaks down how bad DJ Lagway's feet placement are. Like, I was so inconsistent, and you know, you could do with that what you want, but like, you start to realize like, yo, like, his feet are never set the same way on any on any pass. It's crazy. And on that, he threw a pick earlier in the game. I think it's his second pick where his feet were like drifting apart from each other. It was weird. Like, yo, fam, when you trying to do a split. For this quarterback, though, Byron Brown went 20 of 36, 1 TD, 1 INT. Let's see us brought it right back. Brought it right back to y'all. This is how I do things over here. Tennessee, to the U Johnson says, Tennessee messed my ticket up, though. That's a sensitive topic right now. I'm sorry, man. If your parlay didn't hit on some Tennessee shit, that sucks, dog. I don't even know what to tell you. Yeah, he's not, you know what I'm saying? Like, Tony Johnson ain't gonna break it, but he, you know what I'm saying, shorthanded. Josh Moore shorthanded, got better from we had a drop last week, had a hell of a catch this week, had 2 touchdowns. Where was it? I saw a comment that probably said, correct. I don't know what's going on. I'm not gonna, yo no sé nada. I'm not gonna bring up anything that, you know what I'm saying, looks crazy, because I don't do that. No, like we just threw a pick. He's gonna do that. Tennessee coach failed them. He made a cheap shot field goal harder than it should. Look, he's like, I think so. I think he had never been there like 0-8, right, or 0-9 now against Georgia. Saw them talking about it before the game. I think sometimes shit like gets in your head. Like, I think sometimes you try to like win the past games, which is something that I'm glad this team isn't doing. You know, so we'll see what's going on with that. Hey man, what y'all think about the defense? What y'all think about Heatherman's defense against Byron Brown? He was 20 of 36. Let's pull up his stats here. He was 20-36, 20 to 74 yards passing, 2 long bombs that were like over 100 yards. You know, 55% completion percentage. What was he on rushes? What we doing on stats? Rushing. Okay. God forbid they just make it easy, ESPN. God forbid. All right, here we go. Didn't really run the ball much, did he? Well, he had a long on 53, which was that one where somebody got caught looking in the backfield. He had 13. Nah, fam, that can't be right. No, that can't be. No. He had 13 carries for 2 yards. Am I reading this right? Somebody check my stats. Somebody check my math. Because ESPN is telling me that he had 13 carries for 2 yards, a long of 6. Byron Brown had 13 carries. That's a 0.2 yard carry average, by the way. Fam, the red zone defense was crazy. They do get caught looking in the backfield a little bit too much. But again, game 3, they're getting better week after week. Allowed 12 points. One was kind of like a garbage time touchdown. Right? Hey, can y'all check my math in the chat? Like, go to ESPN right now, because this can't be right. Like, I wasn't following that. 13 carries for 2 yards. He didn't just slip though, fam. Like, he didn't just slip. He got a couple times. I think we definitely tried stopping them from running, so we gave him some big plays. Saps gets subtracted from rushing total. Yeah, man. Like, I think this defense, it's different how you're gonna call it against a quarterback like this. So they kind of played man on the outside, right? They got caught up twice. But man, this defense, little like Bain and Mezzi, the Lightfoot didn't really play this game. Okay. All right. Just checking, Jay. Thank you, Jay, for checking that for me, brother. I couldn't believe it. I'm trying to. At one point, I had to mute the game because I hated hearing the commentators. So I was like, nah, he could. So I'm looking at the stat now. That's bananas, though, because last week he had 17 for 66 against a vaunted SEC defense. That's so crazy. Oh, wow. Garbage can juice that they are. Then he slips 3 times, minus 12 yards. No, I remember him slipping near the yard more. It was like more like 4 yards, 5 yards past, behind the line of scrimmage type of thing. The defense was good, played with energy and toughness. Even on the last, I want to say the last play, you saw everybody flying to the ball. That's when you start to see the moments, right? And this isn't me saying, oh, this is why this defense, like you start to see the moments of why the defense is bought in because they're flying to the ball. Like, I think 9 guys made that last tackle. You know what I'm saying? Like, those are the young guys learning, getting better. Bain looked dominant. Mezzi was crazy in there. But you're also not going to rush crazy on a quarterback like this because he's an athletic 6'4", 240-pound uh quarterback that could break you if you don't keep lane integrity, stay in your gaps, and things like that. So it's also a very different type of game. Lagway isn't as athletic as the athletic is a hard transition, but so next week I expect more sacks against who I think they're going to be even more turned up for. So yeah, I'm looking forward to next week's game, man. I saw the ends try to keep contending. Yeah, they were not trying to kill it, bro. Like the couple times they did kind of get out of their lanes. It wasn't necessarily a blitz. He ran up the middle. He never got outside that I can remember. One time he did get outside. Where the one time that Bain kind of crushed inside or went too far up, you know what I'm saying, up the field, and he opened up the lane. So yeah, man, I was very impressed. I'm gonna have to watch it back. I hope they do like AC. I really like that ACC does their like condensed games where you get the extended highlights, and there's also a bunch of other YouTubers that cut up clips that make it really dope. Juan Manuel says, Benny, what do you think about Fitzgerald, Thomas, and Poyser? Bro, Fitzgerald's just around the ball, bro. Like he sniffed that pick. I don't know where he just popped up. I don't know where he came from. He's like, y'all remember Mr. Deeds, the butler, sneaky? Like he just popped up in there. Like I don't know where he came from because he was there, but like, and the screen was sniffed out, but he just kind of popped up. Was like, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get this. That's 2 picks in 2 weeks. True freshman, didn't have the summer. Like didn't have the spring. He had the summer and came in. He's only going to get better and when he gets more size. Poyser, I'm waiting to see, dog. Like he made a good play when they got burned over the top. You know what I'm saying? Came back and broke it up. Had a little bit of a miss on a play, getting nitpicking. Defense overall played good. Jacoby Thomas with a hell of a hit to force that fumble on Byron Brown. Yeah, Dylan Day got some solid snaps. I didn't see much of Bobby Pruitt today. I don't know if y'all did. Yeah, bro, like, and they're only going to get better as they learn more, process more, see more film, have more footage, what to learn from what they didn't do right, what they did do right. These are all teachable moments, man. Like, this isn't the finished product. This is the week 3 product from 9 months or 10 months of process and work, but until the lights are on, you really don't know what you have. Bro, but Josh Moore on that touchdown, and CJ Daniels is just going to give us a ridiculous catch every week? Is that just to be expected? Like I don't think he had a lot this game. He had a lot of catches. Let's see what we had here. Who's our leading receiver? Pull it up on ESPN. If my internet is fast, that would be great. How y'all feeling, man? Yo, what'd y'all do during the 2-hour rain delay? Hour and 42 minutes. Keelan Marion had 81 yards. He was our leading receiver. 8 with 6 catches for 81 yards. That's crazy. Texas A&M missed a 99-yard touchdown opportunity overthrown. I'm about to go back and I didn't even watch. I don't do the 4-screen when the Canes are on. I don't do the multi-game view. It's so ISO on the Canes game. Yeah, CJ did come back after he went down. He went right. He went not right back in, but he did come back, got a couple snaps. I saw him when they had the wide receiver stack, so he came back in, so he should be good. I think he just got the air knocked out of him. Because first of all, I wouldn't have brought him back in because it's unnecessary. You were blowing him out, but it was good to see him get back in there. And I think he just got the air knocked out on the way he landed. Will Black was trying to say something about his shoulder, like an AC joint sprain. If that was the case, they wouldn't have brought him back in. But yeah, he came back. Let's see receiving. Let's see game stats. What we doing? Fam, if Tony Johnson is like the 6th or 7th guy, I'm good money, man. Like that's crazy. Nope, I'm not reading that out here. Juan Manuel, come on, bro. Also, nobody calls it that. He's not a breakaway guy. I think Keelan Marion's one of our breakaway guys. You know what I'm saying? But he still had a nice little catch. Let's see. Game log. All right. Trying to see the stats for the wide receivers. I'm just trying to navigate this shit live. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Keelan Marion did have a good catch on that one fade route. That was dope. Let's see, receiving. ¿A dónde estamos, jefe? Oye, pero ¿qué es lo que pasa aquí? What are we doing here, man? What are we doing here? What are we doing? Let's see how to navigate this shit. We're doing this live. Do 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 do. 49-12 is crazy. Best team in the country. One of the best teams. If they win, because there was other shit that we're saying, right? If they win today, they're gonna. If they beat us, they should be the number one team in the country. So where does that put us if we beat them by 37? Anybody? Right? This should be the number. They're the only team that'll beat 3 ranked teams. Here we go. All right. Got the receiving. All right. So Keelan Marion had 6 for 81. Malachi Tony has 6 catches. Crazy for 66. Tony Johnson, 2 for 64. Josh Moore, 3 for 61. CJ had 4 for 56. Malachi Tony was the average receiver besides Malachi Tony. So Keelan Marion, 13 yards per reception. Tony Johnson, 32 yards per reception. Joshua Moore, 20 yards per reception. CJ, 14 yards per reception. Mark Fletcher, 12 and a half yards per reception. Luka Gilbert got in there for 17 yards per reception. That's basically every time the receivers caught the ball was a first down. That's crazy, dog. Like, that's crazy efficient. Booker Pickett looks really good, and he's just in the lab working. He got a sack. He was one of the few that got a sack one-on-one on Byron Brown before they pulled him out. He just hit the little bend, Jay, he had the little bend around him, dropped that little shoulder. Similar sack to what he had last year against, I want to say, Duke. He's quick off the line, man. But again, he's young, and that D-line is crazy stupid. Crazy stupid. All right, what else we got here? Gerard Pringle had a nice little game, 2.4 yards per carry. He got garbage time carries, though. He looks fast, though. So Mark Fletcher, 16 for 120. Carson Beck, I didn't like that last little run that they had with him. That could have been stupid. Shamar Brown, 9 for 22. Keelan Marion had 1 for 13. I like that little jet pass, little jet sweep. Pringle had 5 for 12. 200 yards rushing. Okay. Do you guys know what we held South Florida to? 40. 40 yards rushing. 1.5 yards per carry. They're not a good rushing team to begin with. All right. Passing, they receiving 292 yards, 12 yards per carry. A lot of big plays. But they had, it was a good game. Chase Smith looked good. Had a fumble recovery. Almost had a pick. I thought he was gone. He almost had a pick when he dropped back. And he undercut that little pass, I'm saying, that he tipped. But yeah, man, overall, look, penalties can be worked on. Was it 5 off? Coach Cristobal's gonna roast these boys. Because I think it was 5 false starts. Couple bad other plays. But to do that, to have 9 penalties for 69 yards and win by 37 against the hottest team in the country. Their words, not mine. I didn't think they were that hot because I didn't think who they beat was that impressive. I think Florida's caca. To do that, they scored in every quarter. The only time they got held to under 14 points in a quarter was the third quarter. Yeah. Yes, they were. Yes, they were doing those little added movements. That's how you got to get away. When you're a team like that, you got to do every little trick you can, man. So, yeah, we'll see what it is. All right, guys, just want to jump on real quick, man, and chop it up with y'all. Impressive win. Miami goes 49-12 against the hottest team in the country and dog walks them. And now we get ready for Florida. The rest of the squad will be back on tomorrow. Chop it up and see what they got to say. Yeah, well, I'm on a bunny. Is this what depth look like? I heard a few of our stars didn't play and were not missed. Correct. This is what it looks like when there's depth, because Jabari Antoine as a corner looked good. Bryce Fitzgerald looked good, true freshman. Like, this is what it's supposed to start looking like, man. Like, I don't get ahead of myself. I don't get carried away. I take it one game at a time. I don't get crazy with it. So we'll see what's what. Ayo, somebody better teach Carson how to slide. Fam, when he took that hit, though, I was all right, bro. Okay, fam, we get it. You're tough. You just that hit from Gaskin. I was like, hey, let's not do that again. Let's not do that again. Por favor, no. You know what I mean? Them 2 picks wasn't. No, they were tips, and one he didn't set his feet, and that was the same guy who hit Emery. Was it the same guy who hit Emery low? They kind of went after his legs, man. I wasn't a big fan of that shit. I thought that should have been called, because that's what happened. They went low on him. I thought that should have been a rough in the passer, because quarterbacks are protected, not because I thought it was a dirty hit. Like, that's what they're supposed to be. Yeah. Damn, Paulie, you're right. Gators are on the clock. You know what I'm saying? We'll be back tomorrow at 6 with the rest of the squad. Appreciate y'all hanging out with me, man. Have a great one. Let's see what happens with these Notre Dame and Florida games. All right, man. Appreciate y'all. Have a great one. Peace out.
Thanks for watching. You heard. Thanks for listening. We appreciate y'all. You already know every Wednesday, 6 o'clock. You already know every Sunday. Right on time.